We're going to get started here in just a few minutes with this Intro to Prime webinar. So why don't you, if you're already in, why don't you go ahead, maybe list where you're from, and what you do, and we'll get started here in just a few minutes. Thanks.
Verse 2, 3, 4.
What's up, everyone? Thanks for coming. We're going to get started here in just a few minutes. Some of you are already in here and you've been typing in some things. We've been typing in like where you're from, maybe what it is you do, if you're on a worship team or if you're a worship leader, if this is your first time with experiencing tracks at all, or just experiencing tracks on an iPad. So why don't you go ahead and type where you're from, maybe something interesting about you, and we'll get started in a few minutes. Thanks.
Bridge, 2, 3, 4. Breakdown, 2, 3, 4. Chorus, 2, 3, 4. Outro, 2, 3, 4.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Intro to Prime webinar. Hopefully, some of you guys that have been in here for a little bit have been typing in where you're from, maybe what it is that you do if you're on a worship team, or if you're a worship leader that's coming on behalf of your church and just want to learn more about what is this multi-track world, and how can I get involved, and what is Prime, and what am I looking at here? So we're going to dive into just a full slew of features today. And we're just going to show you how you can use your iPad along with this software to really transform your worship services in your church. My name is Jansen Roberts, and I work here at Loop Community. I've been here for a little while and been doing some training on Prime for over a year now. So I have the wonderful privilege of using this software pretty much every day, and just seeing all the awesome things that come along with this software and how it's just really transforming people's lives on and off the stage when they're rehearsing, when they're performing live, when they're introducing this to their worship teams and getting them involved with it as well. So we have about an hour here to get through everything, so we're just going to dive in and get started. So you're seeing right now my iPad screen. And yours is going to look a little something like this. If you go to the App Store on your iPad and you just search for Prime, you'll find it's about the third one down, I think. And you can download that app for free in the App Store. And it's always been free. It'll always be free. And we want to make that resource available to you guys. And so once you have that on your iPad, hopefully you do, you'll log in to Prime using the same username and password that you log into loopcommunity.com with. And any purchases that you have from our website will sync automatically to your account here so that the songs will be available in your account. And so when you first log into Prime, you're going to see something like this. You're maybe not going to have any songs listed, and so kind of right here, in this format, you'll see this set list on the right-hand side. And so you won't have any green songs listed. It'll just be a gray. Everything will be grayed out. So if you tap on Add Song, you'll be able to see your song bank. And all these songs are songs that you've either uploaded to Prime to use, or they're songs that you've purchased off loopcommunity.com that are going to be in your account. And so songs that have blue checks are actually on your device that you've downloaded, and the songs that do not have blue checks are songs that are in your cloud account, but that haven't been downloaded to your iPad. So we're going to come back in a little bit and explore. But the first song here we have listed, we have 4 songs in our set list. And you can see that the names are there, the key of the song is there, the BPM is listed as well. And then a little below that, you see this is our master volume slider, and I'll talk about what this is here in a little bit, and some different functions. You have play, stop. This is seeking and advancing the tracks left and right. And then we can edit the set list, kind of get into a feature that's similar to Ableton Live's version of warping, where we're transposing not only the key, but we're changing the BPM, the rate of how fast or how slow the song is being played. And so that's kind of in your in your control center down here, your playback control center, so for all your tracks. Over here to the left, you have all these blue vertical bars, and what these are called stems. And so stems are basically just individual tracks. Now, these could be tonal, meaning they could be an instrument that makes a certain key or a certain note, like an acoustic guitar or a trumpet or a piano or something like that. Or they can be actual rhythmic instruments, things like drums or a tambourine or an egg shaker or something like that. And so these are all your instrument stems that are listed here. And the two red stems here, the two vertical bars, are your cues track and your click track. And this is something that's kind of in the last, I don't know, decade or so, it's really been catching on and getting a lot bigger within churches to use click tracks and cue guiding tracks that will kind of walk you through the track that's being played. We'll kind of get to this more in just a minute. Up here up top, we have this long like audio wave bar that's here, and this is the actual audio file that's being played. All these stems are being played through here, and that's what it looks like. And so you have this different song sections, and then up top we have a button called Load Set List, where you can actually load in different set lists and save them. So you can have one for, hey, this is my upcoming weekend, September, whatever. You can also load another set list like for Christmas, or have another set list saved for Easter, or whatever the service is, or whatever the services you might be doing. We also have MIDI support and some other things that I'm going to talk about here shortly. The timeline here of how long the song is and where we are at in the song. And then our start and end time here. There's an edit song button and some settings. And so let's just go ahead and play back this first song now that we've kind of navigated where everything is and what it is. And we'll kind of explain some things. So I'm going to turn this click track on here in the bottom, in the middle, and play back The Lion and the Lamb. So the track is fading in.
Intro 2, 3, 4.
Cool. So you're kind of able to hear the intro cue that counted you off, intro 2, 3, 4. Now as the song continues on, it's going to call out the verse cue in time. Here we go. Cool. So that's kind of, what click and cues is. You hear that click track, that kind of beeping in the background, and then you also hear the cues being called out for each song section that's beginning. And that's what click and cues are. They kind of guide you through the song to where you know, okay, what section's coming next, and the band will be able to hear that as well and know. So what if, for example, we wanted to, maybe one of the big things is we want to change a key of a song. And so right now, if you look here, we're listed in the key of B. And so let's say we want to go down to the key of A. And so down in the bottom here is my key is listed in B. I'm just going to tap on this down arrow twice. And now I'm going to be in the key of A. So when we click the play button, we should play in the key of A. And everything is transposed down to the key of A, which is a whole step down. And there's no difficult things to do. It's just immediately it goes to that key. Now the cool thing about this is you can transpose on the fly. So while the song is playing, you can actually transpose. Let's go back to B. And so you heard the steps back up to B. Now we're in the original key. So I can do the same thing with the BPM. So it's in 90, and I'll say, well, let's go to 100. We really want to push this song a little bit. So let's mock up to 100. So 98 is the highest that I can go. I think you can only go up, I think it's 7 up and 7 down numbers from the original BPM. Maybe it's 8. So the same thing as going up, you can slow it down, and everything stays in time. It doesn't sound like weird, it all sounds in time. So if you wanted to do this song at a slower pace, that's one thing you could do. And so let's go back to the original BPM of 90. So we've kind of explored we've kind of explored the BPM changing. We've explored transposing the key. So let's say the next 3 or 4 songs in our set list. Let's say, well, what if I wanted to do the stand before I did the Lion and the Lamb? So up here we have this Edit Set List button. So we tap that, and it brings up, the delete song buttons, or we can rearrange them here with these little horizontal bars. So if I just tap the horizontal bars and hold them, I can drag however I want, let it go, and it automatically relists everything. And it's really quick, it's really responsive, and so then you hit done down here and you're ready to rock and roll. And so you tap on the stand and the audio will load right there on the top, and you hit play and it'll go right into the next song, or the first song if this is your first song for the set.
Verse 2, 3, 4.
Cool. That's awesome. So let's get into some of the other features here. So in our if you're using in-ear monitors, you're going to plug out of your headphone jack of your iPad, and it's going to go into either a stereo DI box or 2 individual mono DI boxes back to your board. If you don't know what I'm talking about, your sound guy will definitely know for your church. And this is a way to get the sound of these tracks through the house so people can actually hear them in your audience. And so Prime, one of the cool things about Prime is the way it's designed is it knows any tracks that are in the blue, it pans them. What that means is it goes to the right or the left. And so any of the blue channels will go to the right channel, which is the right speaker. And then the red tracks will go to the left speaker. And so that's how we were able to separate what the audience is hearing and what the band is hearing, because you don't want the audience to hear the cue voices and you don't want them to hear the clicks voices either. So that's how we route them and route them separately. So when you come out of the headphone jack, Prime automatically knows to pan the cues and click to the left, and it pans the music to the right, and that's how you route them back if you're using an in-ear monitor system at your church or in whatever setting you're in. And so we're going to go ahead and play this stand song again. I'm going to scrub ahead to the chorus here. And one thing we're going to do is we're going to look at a feature, kind of get into some of these sections and the stems themselves. So right now we have everything kind of playing, and so let's say I don't want the song to be so involved. I want it to be less loud, less involved. So I'm going to actually turn off some of these stems. So I'm going to, right here, you can actually tap the button and turn them off. So I'm going to turn off the loop. I'm going to turn off the synths. And then turn off the electric. So it's a lot less involved now, which is kind of cool. And so what you can do is have this ready, for any time you want to maybe get rid of an instrument or add an instrument back in. What's also cool is if I say something doesn't sound right or something sounds a little weird, I can solo these instruments. So let's turn everything back on. And I'm saying something doesn't sound right with the loop track. So I'm going to hit the solo button here and solo it out. Now everything else is muted except for the loop. I can only hear this channel. So this is great. This is a great option for people that are wanting, say this is like your drums track and the drummer is wanting to learn the song for Sunday, but I can't mute all the tracks. Now you can. You just turn on the drum/loop track and he can practice along to just this, which is great. And he can still have the click available with the cues if you solo those at the bottom as well. So I have this soloed and these two soloed. So now he's able to kind of know where we are and practice just his part. And you can do that for electric or any other instrument, which is really nice. And this gives you more control over what's going on. Also, if, let's say, the levels don't sound exactly how you want them to sound. So let's go back to the chorus again and get where it's like really, really loud. This kind of doubles as a mixer, so you can adjust levels. So the loop sounds great, but I just don't want it to be as loud. So I can actually scrub this down with my finger and turn down the loop track. I can turn down the electric a little bit. I can turn these synths down and actually mix it in the house. And if I turn the loop all the way down, it's just like muting it. And so you can mix it how you want. The cool thing about this is if I save all these settings just as is right now, and I go to the lion and the lamb, and then I go back to the stand, none of these will change. So let's try it. I'm going to go hit lion and the lamb. And now all these are different stems because they go with this song. So now let's go back to the stand. And you'll see that all the levels for these didn't go back and result back to the default. They're saved as they are now. And so that's great. We don't have to go back and, oh man, I got to remix this all again and remember where everything is. Once you set it, it's done. And so I can set levels for all 4 of my songs here, which is amazing. So let's get into a little feature of kind of what some of this stuff is down here. So panning, I was talking about earlier with the tracks on the right and the click and cues on the left. So right now everything is kind of stereoed. So let's go back and play Lion and the Lamb. And we'll go to like the chorus or something and play this. So hopefully you'll be able to hear it. Once I hit this stereo button, it's going to say pan. And once pan is highlighted blue, it's engaged, it's on. And what that's going to do is it's going to take the music and put it to the right, and it's going to take the cues and leave them on the left. And so the cues and the click are already in the left now, but you should be hearing the music come out of both left and right speakers. So I'm going to hit pan. And now, hopefully, with the settings right, you'll be able to hear the click and cues only in the left channel, and the music is only in the right channel. And that's, now you see pan is engaged. If I turn this back off, ST means stereo, which the music is coming through both right and left channels. And hopefully that kind of makes sense. So that is the pan feature here. What's cool is also this master volume. You can, just like these vertical bars do the volume for each stem, this master volume will cut down the volume for the entire song. So let's go back to the chorus, play it again, and everything's loud. I'm gonna bring this volume down, and it brings down the volume for the entire track. Now you'll notice that the click keeps going, which is cool, right? So let's say that we're playing this song on a Sunday and we're in the very last part of the song and we get going to the end here. I just want to do a fade out.
Outro, 2, 3, 4.
Bam, and then the drummer hits like one last crash, and the click is still going. Hey church, we love to sing that song. Let's just sing that again. Let's sing the chorus.
2,
So the
3,
cue is going.
4.
Our God is the Lion of Judah. He's roaring with power. Yeah, cool. So you get the idea. You can have that going and kind of, you could have faded out earlier in the song and not gone through the bridge or something. But that's a feature that kind of, when you fade out, the click and cues do not fade out. They keep going. And so that's a great thing to be able to have so that your band can still stay in time. So that's kind of cool. Let's talk about what this is right here. This is our loop button. So again, going to go back here to the chorus, and we're going to play through the chorus. Now, when I engage this button, it's going to give me a number 1, and now you'll see that this is flashing, and there's a box around it. When it gets to the end of the section, it's going to loop back and do the chorus again. And every knee will bow, let's sing that again, church. Our God is the Lion of Judah. He's roaring with... Cool. And so now once you're done with this, I don't really want to go to the interlude. I just want to go to the outro because we're short on time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump from this section to this section. I'm just going to tap on this section with my finger. Now you see that it's highlighted, and when it gets to the end, it's going to actually jump and say the outro. So let's wait for that. Every knee will bow before. So now it just jumped to the outro, and we've skipped 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. Cool, right? So this gives you a lot of freedom to just jump around by tapping on the sections you want to go to. Also, yes, if some of you are wondering, it works the same. It works the same if you're going backwards. So after the chorus, hey, I want to do the verse again. Kings and kingdoms will bow down. Cool, right? So to go backwards, forwards, you can jump around, you can loop the section, and when we hit that, it set a 1 next to it. But if we're back in the chorus again, and we tap this loop button, it says a 1. If we tap it again, now we're on a feature called Infinite Loop. Infinite Loop, as long as your iPad has battery, it will loop this section over and over and over again till the cows come home. I mean, it will not stop. So some of the people love having that feature, and then what they love to do is like then fade out the track. You know, it's something that, you know, you could use that feature if you wanted to. It's totally up to you. But that's kind of a looping and section jumping a little bit, you know, we're going from section to section. So we've talked about the set list being edited. We've talked about transposing the key and the BPM. We've faded out stems. We've faded out volume. We've looked at the song sections. And we've done some looping. We've done some section jumping. And so kind of now up in the top, we're going to talk about a couple of these features. Let's go back to the stand. My settings are still saved in the mix here. And let's say that, I'm going to put these back up. Let's say I didn't want to start with right on, you know, or the start. If I start here, it's just kind of a little bit too long of a start for me.
Verse 2.
So
3,
let's
4.
say we're at 7 seconds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the track a little earlier. I'm going to hit this button here, the start end button, and I'm going to make the track start a little bit sooner. Okay, I have 4 seconds. Okay, so I'm going to tap the same button again, the start end button, and now we're going to start this track again and see where it's starting. And you can see I just hit the stop button and it's placed here instead of at the beginning because we're telling Prime, okay, Prime, we want you to start at 4 seconds on this song. So when I hit play,
2, 3, 4.
so it starts a little sooner. If there's some reason you want to start the song a little sooner than others, that's fine. You can also do the same thing here. If you scrub ahead to the end, we're going to see that this is at 4 minutes and 6 seconds, and it's kind of too long of a fade. So what we're going to do is we're going to tap the start end button again with our finger, and we're going to come bring this in down like 5 seconds. And we're going to have the track end. And also what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a fade out time. So from full volume until no volume, it takes a full 4 seconds to fade out from full volume to no volume. Okay, so let's try this again. We'll scrub ahead a little bit, see where we are. 353, 354. Let's try that. So it's even more of a fade out. Let's be extreme and fade it out like we'll do 4 seconds, but let's bring it back a little more actually. I'm going to start here at the beginning and start here. Let's try it here. So 4/9 is the end. So a natural fade. That's way too long of a fade for me. So not really, but in this case I feel like, okay, I just want to get to the next song faster. So if we marked it down to 4, like just showing you the difference here, you can really see what happens now, how fast it fades out, how fast it fades out. Done, which is a lot quicker. So that's a fade out feature, start, end, and fade time, so that's good. Also what you can do is, let's say sometimes in your set list, let's say these 4 songs are our set list for this morning. Okay, team, I'm ready to change the songs, but it takes too long to transition from one song to the next. So this little area of dead space where there's no music, I just want to be into the Lion and the Lamb. So right here you see these little grayed out triangles. These are in, like, you can turn these on and off. You can arm them, and so if I tap the little gray triangle, now it turns white. And what this feature is called is auto advance. And so what it's doing is we're telling Prime, okay, when you reach the end of this song, I don't want to have to tap the Lion and the Lamb and hit start. I just want you to start it for me. So now that we're on the end of the song, we're going to scrub back a little bit. and see it end. And we're not going to touch anything. We're going to see it go right into the Lion and the Lamb. So it's fading out. It's going to wait till it gets to the very end of that bar, and it's going to process the next track as quickly as it can, and then it's going to launch the next track automatically. And again, I didn't have to start anything. So during that fade out between songs, people are clapping, the band is like swelling down, decrescendo, and then we're going into the next song. So that's kind of cool. I didn't have to fumble around and look, okay, where's the, where are the play button? Where is this? Where is that? I just could, do it how I needed to do it. So that's kind of the basic features for Prime itself. Now, we just had a webinar a few days ago, and we released a bunch of new features. And so today we're going to talk about these features more in depth. And just to kind of kick it off here, let's talk about some of these features and just dive right in. So one of the first things that you may or may not have noticed if you use Prime is that the click sounds a little different. If any of you have ever used Ableton Live, the click in Prime now sounds very, very close to that. And the reason is why our studio team, as gifted as they are, were able to recreate as close to the original Ableton click as possible. So it's not Ableton's click, but it's very close. And so if you go to the settings with this gear icon, you can actually tap on that and see the settings here in the app. And so what we want to talk about first is the click sounds. And so if you notice here, right now the click sound is set to what's called digital, and digital is Loop Community's version of that Ableton's click that sounds very close to that. So if you tap on that category, there's one at the top called default. So now I tap default. Now you can see it highlighted. I'm going to tap the settings gear icon at the top right to exit, and let's play the Lion and the Lamb now, and you'll probably be familiar with this click sound. This is our standard default click sound that's in everything Loop Community does, from the multi-tracks that you could use in Ableton Live to all the tracks that we have in Prime. This is the basic click track that you'll hear. Okay, so we're going to play through this a little bit and kind of hear. I'm going to let you preview what the different ones are, unless you already have a song in there. You preview it now. So we're going to go to Rem and see what Rem sounds like. And I'll pull some of these sliders down so you can actually hear that cut through a little more. So Rem is more of like a subtle, like a rim shot. So it's a little more subtle but steady. Let's change this now to marimba. And this one's kind of tonal now. It's an actual pitch that you can actually hear a little higher. So we're getting closer to the Ableton click, but still it's not it. And this next one will be the beep. This is kind of, to me, it's like an electronic type of tone, like a monophonic tone. So whatever of these work for you is best. I kind of like to stick to the digital one because I'm used to Ableton, and I feel like it cuts through the mix a little more. And again, just like we were talking about these mix levels here, the same goes for the click settings. So if I go to the stand and I tap the settings, and go to default. So now my song on the stand is the default click sound. If I click on Lion and the Lamb, it's digital. So what's cool about this is the click sounds save per song. They don't save for the entire set list. So if you want the same click sound for all of your set list, every song you load into Prime, whether it's a purchase or a custom upload, is going to default to the old school Loop Community click. You have to actually go in each song and change it to whatever you want, and it's going to be different for each song, so you need to go into each song and change it. And so we wanted to give you that freedom to kind of do whatever it is that you want to do. Okay, so let's go to the subdivision, click subdivision. So right now, if we play this song here, Lion and the Lamb, You hear the click is kind of fast, and that's because it's on this ×2. It's subdivided here. So if we want to just have a basic click, I'm going to turn it to 1. So now you only hear the click on every quarter note instead of on the 8th note.
Interlude 2, 3, 4.
And here's the 8th note again, and it's subdivided. Here's the quarter note, and it'll do that for every single
Bridge,
click sound
2,
on any song.
3,
Cool?
4.
All right, cool. So let's talk about the cue sounds. So the standard cue sounds we've had is this voice that we've called Taylor for a long, long time. And Taylor, kind of, you've been hearing him now. What's cool is we were able to get our good friend Meredith Andrews, who was able to record her voice in our cue sounds. So every one of these cues, chorus, verse, etc., you can have Meredith Andrews kind of calling out your band cues as you lead worship. Kind of cool, right? We also have Felipe for our Spanish cues, and there's John for more of our gospel music that's done with our gospel cues. So these are different cue voices that you can try. So let's click on Meredith Andrews. I know you guys are probably, please, let me hear, let me hear. So let's go right before and let's hear what she sounds like here. And it might...
Chorus, 2, 3,
There we go.
4.
Thanks, Meredith. We appreciate that. So here's another one. You can hear her.
Interlude 2, 3,
Cool.
4.
So you can choose those click voices, and again, those are saved per song. I also want to talk about a feature in these settings called Jump Time. So Jump Time is kind of a take on Ableton Live and many other DAWs feature called quantization. Quantization is a feature that allows you to jump to another section, but when it's doing so, it's counting it in time. And that quantized time is telling it, okay, I want you to change to the next section that I tell you to within a certain number of beats. Now, traditionally, we've had it at the end of each section. And so I have to tap on a section. Once it gets to the end of the chorus, then it'll jump to whatever section I want it to go to. Now I give you the option of doing it at the end of the section, doing it after 1 bar or measure, or doing it after 2 bars or measures. And so let's try, we already know what it sounds like at the end of the section. We're going to tap on after 1 bar, and we're going to go play in the chorus, and I'm going to go to the bridge. So I'm going to tap the bridge,
Bridge, 2,
and it's going to go
3,
right in there.
4.
It's not going to have to wait to the end of the section. If I go to the interlude, it's going to call it on the
Interlude,
downbeat,
2, 3, 4.
and we're right into the section. So that's kind of what that's like. You can also do it for every 2 bars. We'll just blaze through this here. Sorry about that. Call the bridge. It's going to wait 1 full measure, and then call it on the second
Bridge,
measure,
2,
and then go.
3, 4.
Cool, right? So you can choose that feature, whatever kind of floats your boat with at the end of the section, at the end of 1 bar / measure, or the 2 bar / measures. Another feature that's new that we released is something called dark mode. You see it underneath Q sound. You can tap that and kind of see what it looks like. If your iPad is very bright, and you can see these are a lot of positive colors, and we want to have some negative colors, so we want to have some darker colors. I'm going to switch dark mode on, and it's going to change everything to a negative aspect. And where I'm on screen, it's a little bit dimmer, it's a little darker, but it's still bold where I can see everything. It's just not as bright. And so if you're playing on a dark stage, there's some darker lights. Maybe it's like a Good Friday service, or maybe it's a dim candlelight service or something, you know, communion or something. You can have this kind of dimmed down to where it's not as bright on stage and not as noticeable. And so that's dark mode, and you can flip that back over. We thought that everyone kind of liked that, so that's kind of neat to have. One of the things that we wanted to talk about here for the next feature is something called multi-outs. Now, multi-outs, what they are is, we talked a little bit earlier about this pan feature here. And traditionally, you've had to come in and out of the headphone jack in order to get any audio whatsoever. That has kind of changed now, and we're getting more into using the lightning port to kind of have a lot of computer and digital aspects of having the music come through the lightning port rather than coming out of the headphone jack. So to kind of talk about what this feature is, which is this button up here, multi-outs, basically all they are is they allow you to have different stems coming out of different outputs. So we only have 2 outputs, right? I said all the blue was in one channel, which is your left, and the red were coming out of your other channel, which is your right. That's it. left and right. That's all you have. Now you can change that to have Prime will give you 6 different outputs if the interface that you're using supports 6 different outputs. So you could have all your guitars on one output. You could have your drums and percussion on the second output. You can have your pad and piano on number 3, and then you can have synthesizers on number 4, your cues on number 5, and something else on number 6 if you had that many outputs. And your sound guy can route that and mix that audio for each different group of stems or for different outputs. And so kind of to talk about that, we have a little video, and Matt McCoy is the founder CEO here at Loop Community, and he's going to talk us through a little bit about this, and he's at his church service at just kind of getting things together. So here's like a little video of him. He's going to talk about that, so just kind of check this out.
What's up, Loop Community? This is Matt McCoy. I'm here to show you the new multi-out feature in Prime 3. So I'm here at church getting ready to lead worship, and I'm going to show you how I have this set up. So I've got an iPad running Prime 3, and I have the iPad connected to this interface. This is called the iConnect Audio 4. And the iConnect Audio 4 has 4 outputs that I just have plugged in here right into different DI boxes for our sound system. And the goal here is I'm going to have the click going out output 1, I'm going to have some different instruments going out output 2, maybe the pad going out 3, and guitars going out 4. And the way that this is connected to my iPad is it's connected via a lightning cable right into my iPad. And what's awesome is that the iConnect is powered by a power adapter. So what that means is that it's actually charging my iPad while I have this plugged into the iConnect. So now no more am I going to be running out of battery during the worship set. It's being charged by the interface. What's also really cool is I have my Looptimus plugged in via USB to the back of the iConnect. There's a jack here where you can plug the Looptimus in. It powers the Looptimus up, so I'm able to use the Looptimus and the iConnect with Prime, and it keeps my iPad fully charged. This is an amazing interface. So all you do once you have Prime 3 installed, in the top left part of the screen you hit this button that says Outs. And when you hit Outs, it opens up here all the different outputs for each channel. So you can tap on a channel to say, I want the acoustic to go out output 2, or 3, or 4. Depending on how many outputs your interface has, the numbers will show up there. So right now I have it set to all of my instruments going out 1, and my click and cues are going out 2. So let's hit play, see what that sounds like. So if I want my click and cues to go output 3, they go out output 3 now. Let's set these back to output 2.
Chorus 2, 3, 4.
And I'm going to turn down everything here just so you can hear what's going on. We're going to want the drums to go out output 2. So I'm going to hit 2, and now the drums are going out output 2. Or if I want them to go out output 3, now they're going out output 3. You can do the same thing with your guitars.
Chorus 2, 3.
If you want your guitars to go out output 2, now my guitars are going out output 2 or output 3, let's say. Let me go back here and hit play. The guitars are going out 2, and the click and cues are going out output 2, while the guitars are going output 3. So you can use multi-outs with Prime now, which is awesome because now your sound guy can actually control the different volumes of the different tracks, and you don't have to use the headphone jack anymore. So hope you enjoy that. That's multi-out.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt. We appreciate that. And so that is basically, in a nutshell, is the multi-out feature. And if you kind of need to look at that, we'll have this video available on our YouTube channel. You can rewatch that and kind of go through those again. And we'll probably do an updated video on that or updated training on specifically how to use multi-outs in the future because it's something new and we want everybody to kind of be very clear on how to use that. So that's an awesome feature. We love it. So we're going to move on now and talk about a couple other things. And these are some really, really cool things. So let's go on to the next big feature that we released and go to the settings. I'm sorry, the settings. I'm not thinking here. To the edit song right next to the settings up here. We have something that we released, which is unbelievable, and it's called Edit Song Arrangement. So this is custom song arrangements now that we're getting into. So let's say that for the song that we're in, which is Lion and Lamb, you don't, it's too long or something isn't right. You don't want to do the bridge or you don't want to do this many choruses. You just want to get through the song a little faster. So if you tap Edit Song and then Edit Arrangement, before we hit that, these two buttons here are info buttons, and if you tap the info button, it explains how to use this custom arrangement feature. So if you get lost, like, oh man, what do I now what's going on is that it's bringing up this section name to choose it. And so what we have now is we're going to turn the chorus, we're going to delete the section. Sorry about that, everybody. If we have any technical errors, just trying to get through this, and if we have any glitches, we'll be sure to get that right for everyone. So picking up right where we left off, there is this section named dialog box that pops up. And so that's after I double tapped on the chorus section, and you can see it blinking up here. So I'm going to hit delete, tap delete, and now that chorus section is gone. And so now what we have is, instead of going from verse 2 into the chorus, we're going to go from verse 2 into the interlude. And so let's delete something else. Let's delete the down bridge. So double tap the down bridge, and we'll delete that. And instead of going into the chorus, the first chorus right away, I want to add another verse. So I'm going to double tap verse 1. And you see there's an arrow right here after this section. And so what I want to do is I'm going to add another verse, the same verse. I want to sing it twice. So I'm going to scroll to verse. I'm going to hit add new, and it's going to add another verse right after the first verse. And I'm going to say, this looks pretty good to me. I'm pretty happy with the way this looks. So I'm going to tap done, and it's going to save that song audio. I get kind of speechless about this because it's so unbelievable still. When we were testing this out and when we had it in the beta stage and now we have it live for you guys, it's so unbelievable. And so when I tap the first verse, we're going to play through this first verse and see what it does after the first verse going into the first verse.
Verse 2, 3, 4.
It's so seamless. You can't even notice that something has been removed or changed. So we're going to go again. And so we're going to go to the verse into the interlude.
Interlude 2, 3, 4. Bridge 2, 3, 4.
Awesome. So these, it counts off the sections that it's going to, and it's all from this custom arrangement. Nothing's really been changed except for the sections that I've deleted or the sections that I've added. And so that's kind of what's happening now. So we can do that for as many songs as we want. We can custom change that. We can arrange the song how we want, or what we can do is say, well, I don't really want to be able to, see that. I want to kind of go back and have the song the way it was. And I think right now, before we get moving, I think the screen might be a little bit messed up for everyone to see the Looptimus pedal, which we're going to get into in a second. So let me adjust that and see if we can't get this back to the way it was supposed to be. All right, hopefully everyone can see the iPad screen now. I'm sorry about that. All right, cool. So let's go back to kind of what we were looking at before and just kind of walk you guys through that because I think some people missed that from the video being a little bit off. So we're going to tap on that section, which is Edit Song. And then the info pane button here is so you can see what's kind of going on. And then now we're going to tap on Edit Arrangement. And I'm going to reset this up in this up in the category here so you can actually see it being reset. So now we're going to go back to the default setting of the song. The arrangement of the song is exactly how it's supposed to be, standard. And now what we can do is we can delete sections and add sections. So the middle chorus, I don't want it. So I'm going to double tap on the middle chorus, and it's going to bring up this section name dialog box. So I'm going to delete this section, and now it's gone. So we go from the interlude straight into the down bridge. And I'm going to add verse 1 again over the first time through the verse. I'm going to add another verse 1. So double tap the first verse, scroll to verse 1, and then I'm going to hit add new, and it's going to add the verse again. So then when we add the verse a second time, we're going to have it to where we're going to delete the first bridge. Let's see here. All right, looks like we're still having problems with the video. Just give us just a second. There we go. Now everybody should be able to see the screen. Sorry about that, guys. We had a little glitch earlier. We're good to go now. So let's try this again. One more time. Third time's a charm, right? So we're going to go back and we're in the settings. So I'm going to reset this one more time so you can see it, kind of see what I'm doing here. Let's go back and hit done. And how I got to that setting here is I got to the edit song button. So I'm going to hit the edit song button. And next to each button, there's a little info pane. So you hit the info pane and you can still see the custom arrangement. Kind of the instructions on how to do this if you get lost or like can't remember. So let's hit edit song. And we're going to go to edit arrangement and tap on edit arrangement. And again, this is the original way the song is mapped. Nothing's been deleted or moved around. So now we have this just as is, and we're going to remove this middle chorus here. So we're going to double tap on the chorus, and we're going to hit delete, and it's going to get rid of the chorus immediately. And now we're going to also add the verse again. So let's go to the first verse that's over here, and we're going to add this again. Double tap on it, scroll down to verse, and then hit add new. And it's going to add, now I have 2 verse 1s. Cool. So, and we also wanted to remove this down bridge. So we go from the interlude straight into the full bridge. So it does double tap on the bridge, hit delete. And now this looks pretty good. I'm going to hit done up here in the top. And now my song is kind of saved to be just this song arrangement here. If I hit verse 1, it's going to go right into verse 1.
Verse 2, 3, 4.
Cool. So that's good. Same thing with interlude. It's going to skip the down bridge and go right into the full bridge, the big one.
Bridge 2, 3, 4.
Cool. Awesome. And if you don't want to have this and you say, well, okay, we need to do the full song this week. These settings are still saved. I want to go back into the full song. So you hit edit song again and hit edit arrangement, and then you're going to hit reset, and it's going to reset the whole song to the default arrangement. So you hit OK, and now all the full arrangement's back. Everything is normal again, and you can breathe and kind of go about your worship set and say, okay, let's do it from the beginning. So tap done, and that is custom song arrangements. Now, the other thing I didn't show you when we're doing this is to kind of drag and drop sections around. So we're going to do edit song again, edit arrangement. And let's say that instead of verse, chorus, we're going to have verse, chorus. And it's verse 1, verse 2. So if you tap and hold the verse 2, I'm going to drag it and drop it right here. So now we have verse 1, verse 2. And let's say we don't want to do a turnaround. We're going to delete that. And then we're going to have 2 sections here. I'm going to move the full bridge to after the 3rd chorus. And so by dragging and dropping things, you can really quickly adjust it rather than adding and deleting. You can also move things around by dragging and dropping. So that's the last part of custom song arrangements. That's really amazing. Hit done to save, and we're ready to go. And so that, in a nutshell, is custom song arrangements. So that is just an awesome feature that you're able to use that really it can change things so quickly without you having to waste a lot of time and preparing a lot of things, and it's just going to save you and your team a whole lot of time. And one more thing we want to talk about, a couple more things actually, is I wanted to talk about uploading your own custom audio to Prime. So if you go to loopcommunity.com, you'll be able to see kind of a window that looks something like this. And you'll log in and you'll go to the homepage and you'll hit this upload button and it'll take you here. And you should see upload to Prime Cloud. And if you click on that, you'll be able to take to a page where you can upload your own tracks, enter in the information, and follow the instructions there in order to get your custom audio to appear here in Prime. And so I've already done this before we started this webinar. I entered in this song, God is Able by Hillsong. The difference with this song is that you'll see that none of the sections are here. And so we're going to talk about another awesome feature that we've had for just a little bit called custom section markers. And so if you load your own audio, it's not going to have section markers. You have to add them. And so where are they? Well, we're going to find that out. So if you tap on Edit Song, just like you would for editing the song arrangement, we're going to add in the markers. So again, there's an info pane next to it, and it's going to show you exactly how to add these markers. It's very simple. So let's go to Edit Song and hit Add Markers. And now I'm in custom section marker arrangement mode where I can actually move, adjust, add, delete markers that the sections are going to be. So if you tap right here, I know there's grids that kind of line up all these vertical bars. If you tap this plus button, it's going to zoom in so you can actually see where the start is and where the downbeats are. So we have downbeat, and then we have beat 2, beat 3, beat 4, and then another downbeat. So this is in 4/4 timing, and we know where the downbeats are. So let's play this song because our play button's engaged.
Intro 2, 3, 4.
Cool. So I'm going to stop it. I know that the intro is right here. So I just double tapped. I double tapped on this bar right here, and this dialog box pops up. And because it called intro, I can scroll down to intro and hit done. So now I know that the intro is there. So then we're going to continue to listen along.
Intro 2.
Okay, there's another intro.
4.
So I'm going to stop here, scroll back in again, and I think it was right here.
Intro 2.
And that's where it was. Double tap right on this section here. You can see where the audio changes, so this will help you kind of guide along a little bit. So double tap right there, and you're going to scroll down to intro again. Hit done. Now you know that there's a lot of sections in here and say, well, this is going to get really monotonous. So what's a fast way to add some of these sections? Well, what I could do is I can just double tap and then just add a bunch of choruses in here. It doesn't matter where they go as long as I just add them. Cool. So this is going to save me a lot of time. And I know that probably this is the end, so I'll just mark it as the end. Cool. So what you can do now is I'm going to scrub ahead a little bit with my scrubber and see where the track is going to fall, where the intro is. Let's scrub ahead a little bit. Intro. So there's another section here. That's another intro. If I move ahead. Cool, so I know the verse is coming. Instead of adding another one, I'm just going to tap the little white dot and drag the chorus section over right there. Drop it, and now double tap the white dot and you can change it to your verse. So instead of having to drop new ones in here, you can play it, and as it's playing, you can really tap on these and drag them where you want, and the audio will go where you want it to. What's cool about this is, let's say my chorus here was actually before my verse and I got them backwards. So you just drag and drop this before the verse and it'll switch them. If I drag it back, it'll switch them again. So it'll actually switch your sections here. So that's really cool. And it knows how to go with it. So you can enter, I'm not going to take the time to go on a lot of these because we have some other features that we want to talk about, but this is kind of how you're dropping in your section markers. When you're done, you can hit save. And when you hit save, it's going to save all the markers that you dropped exactly where you dropped them on those downbeats. And so it may take a second, just depending on the length of the song. And so now you can see, instead of one gray audio bar, I have all these colorful sections. And now, because of that, all these things are working. So I can now section jump and loop. I can program these to something and move around if I wanted to. There's a lot of things I can do now because I have these section markers. And so that's a great feature. If for some reason there's a section marker that's messed up, or you forgot to add something and you playing through the track and you're like, oh man, I forgot to add a bridge here or something, just hit the edit song again and hit edit markers. And now we're back in section marker mode where you can edit, delete, move them around and hit save again, and it'll resave that to where it's supposed to be. So if you clear them all and say, I don't really want to do the sections, I just want to play the song, I'm not going to be looping through anything, I'm going to play the song from start to finish, you can hit clear next to save. And it says the dialog box, and you say, okay. And so what it's going to do is it's going to remove the section markers that we put into place. And so when we remove those section markers, it's going to go back to being a gray audio bar. So the cool thing about this is when you use any custom audio with Prime, which what that means is if you go back to loopcommunity.com and upload your own audio, it's when you drag this into Prime and upload it to Prime, it's going to use the cues file that you actually use to upload with. And so when you follow the instructions, you're going to put a bunch of these instrument stems and zip them up into one zip folder, name it, and upload it to Prime. When you download it, there's your song, and it's going to use the audio file from this cues track. It's also going to use the click file from your click track. The cool thing is when you add the sections by going here and actually adding the markers, it's not going to listen to this WAV file anymore, but it's going to actually in real time process exactly where you put the chorus and the verse. So really, if the chorus starts here in maybe the first little part of the song, but you put the chorus starting here, it's not going to call the chorus here, it's going to call it here, because it listens to where you place those markers. And that's what we call dynamic cues. And so it's dynamically calling in real time where you place those markers. The same thing happens for the click. So if let's go up to the gear icon in the top right corner. Again, the song is listening to the audio WAV file that I uploaded. So this could be a drum, this could be a kick drum, this could be, a wood block. Whatever audio file that I used for a click is what it's going to upload. But if I go here, I can generate the click dynamically, which is already turned on. Sorry about that. It's already turned on. So if I turned it off, it's going to listen to what I uploaded. If I turn it on, it's going to generate the click in real time dynamically from the app. And that's when I'm able to actually choose the different sounds of the clicks that I want. If I don't want to use the one that I uploaded, I want to use the one there. That's what features you can do. And you can also subdivide it. So if I have this off, you'll notice that I can't tap on the X1 and X2 subdivision anymore because it's listening to the audio file here. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, it's kind of something that it's basically any audio you upload, it's going to listen to that until you go into your settings in the app and change it. Once you change it by adding markers or change it by turning on generating the click, it's going to listen to what Prime says now instead of what you actually uploaded. So it's pretty simple. We wanted to give you that feature so that you can actually add section markers. So you can change the click sounds and you can have that available to use at your discretion from a song-to-song basis. In the few minutes that we have remaining, there's one big thing that Prime has available to it that we haven't talked about yet, and you probably already saw it because we had a little bit of trouble with the screen earlier. But right here, I have a image of a Looptimus pedal. So a lot of people are like, whoa, what is this Looptimus pedal? What is that? What am I looking at? And so don't be don't get super alarmed as to what this is. I don't want you guys to like freak out. All this is, okay, think of this being your TV screen, okay? And think of this being your remote controller, okay? So as you change channels on your TV screen, we're going to use this remote to change channels and different kind of things on Prime, on your iPad. Now, if you have an iPad, you know that it has, most of you have a lightning connector, a lightning port, which is what you use to charge your iPad. And so here, if you go, you need to pick up an official Apple lightning to USB connector, which is this little adapter here. It's a USB in, and it the other end is a lightning port that goes into your iPad. And so the USB comes out of the Luptimus. I'm going to pull this down a little bit so you can see. The USB cord comes out here, and the other end goes into this end, and then you plug it into your iPad. And so that's how you're going to connect the Luptimus to your iPad. We're connecting this remote control again. And so now that I have it in, I'm going to actually plug in mine and connect it. And so when I plug this in, watch this little MIDI button up here. So we're going to have this, plug it in, and you're going to notice that it lights up with a Loop Community symbol, and also that it powered it on. So the battery from your iPad will power this Luptimus controller. Okay. It also, this just standard controller, we offer this at loopcommunity.com. In the back has a 9-volt adapter that you can get to power this pedal so that it's not pulling the power from your iPad. Okay. It has a 5-pin MIDI out that will also send the same connection, the same data is being sent out of both of these tips. So whatever button I press, it's going to change the channel here, it's going to change the channel here, it's going to change the channel at the same time. It's the same exact note that's being sent out of both of these. We're just choosing to use USB rather than use 5-pin MIDI, so don't get distracted by that. Here I have this 1/4-inch jack connected to this volume pedal. This is an expression pedal, and so you can see it kind of moving some stuff around here on the display. And so we're going to show you how that's going to work in just a second. So I actually have this in a different mode. I'm going to change this now so that it's in one mode. And I'm going to set it here in a minute. We'll get you started here. Let's go to the song back on our iPad. And what we're going to do is we're going to use this Luptimus to change, start our songs, to stop our songs, to go to the next song. We're going to use this to actually fade out volume levels and show you kind of how that works. So what we're going to do is I'm going to tap on this MIDI icon up here, the mini button, and everything that lights up with a rectangle is something that's mappable to the remote control. So let's say that I want, some of this stuff is already on here. Like you can see the different notes that are already assigned to the certain buttons. So let's just erase these here by tapping erase at the top, and we're going to click OK, and it's going to clear everything out. So now we're going to actually assign these buttons. So song 1, which is right here, the stand, I'm going to assign it to button 1. Okay, so I'm going to actually tap on this box here, and it's going to highlight blue. Then I'm going to assign it to that button, and you see that the note has been filled for that command. So now we're going to go down to the second song, tap button 2, and now that's there. Same thing, button 3 to song 3, and button 4 to song 4. Okay, we're also going to do a stop command by hitting stop, and then it says stop up here on Luptimus, so we're going to hit that and assign the stop button. And so let's just have that saved for now. So we're going to hit MIDI at the top again to save and exit here. All right, so now instead of me actually going here and pushing the play button, on this song, I'm just going to hit the play button to start the first song. So now it's going to play the first song in my set list.
Verse 2.
What's good about
3,
this
4.
is that the best thing about this is I can use this hands-free. So if I'm playing the keyboard right now, maybe I'm the one playing the piano. Maybe I'm the one playing the guitar or the drums. And so by using this, it leaves me hands-free to push these buttons with my feet so that I can lead worship, do what I do, and not be kind of loaded down by having to reach over, 4. Hit the iPad or something like that, and then go back to playing again. So let's go to this next song. We'll hit the second button here, and it'll load the second song automatically and start playing it. And again, these are my hands. I don't have like really long toes, so don't get weirded out by that.
Intro,
This is just my
2,
hands.
3,
But this will be
4.
on the ground, and you use this with your feet. So you stomp on it, and you're playing the guitar or the keyboard or whatever. So again, you can do this for songs. You can also do this for song sections. So now that we started
Intro,
song 3, I'm
3,
gonna hit
4,
stop,
5, 6.
and it killed everything, killed the track. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go to song bank 2 by pressing the next button, and let's go back to the Lion and the Lamb. And let's say that we had song 1, song 2, song 3, but now we want to do is have intro, verse, chorus, bridge, and so on and so forth. So let's mark the let's tap the MIDI button again, and here we go. Our boxes are up. We're going to tap on the intro section, and we're going to have intro, and then the verse is going to be the second button. Our chorus is going to be the third button, and then the bridge is going to be button 4, and then we'll go to end and do 5. Okay, and then we'll save it by tapping MIDI again. So now what happens is if I tap the 1 button, and again I'm in the second song bank, it's going to start the intro. Maybe I should have had it on the start, but it is what it is. So now I can go to the second, and you see that the verse is highlighted here.
Verse 2, 3, 4.
And I also have my settings set to jump after 2 bars. I'm going to set that after 1 bar. So let's go to the chorus.
Chorus 2, 3, 4.
And again, I'm doing all this with this controller, keeping my hands off the iPad and strumming the guitar at the same time. I can move on to the bridge.
Bridge 2, 3, 4.
Cool, so there's a bridge. And then if I want to, I can go to the end section and be done with the song.
End 2, 3, 4.
Cool. Now, obviously, I just play that disastrously in the places it should have been played. You'll never hit those buttons where I hit them, but just to show you kind of how it works. That's what you can do by mapping this controller. And this isn't the only controller that works this way. If you have like a little piano or something that's also has USB, you can use that keyboard to map keys to all of those different little rectangles that you saw on the screen. Like this could be the C note, this could be the D note, this could be the E note, and so on and so forth. So it doesn't just work for Looptimus, although we've designed it to really work with this seamlessly. There's no software or anything you have to download. You just plug it in and you go. And so that is using the Looptimus. Now we also have this volume pedal here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the master volume, and you see it highlighted blue. And so I'm going to map this. And I think I'm in the wrong mode here. So I'm going to actually power this down for a second and make sure that it's in the right mode. All right. Now let's try it now. So now you see that the button here is mapped when I move the controller. So I'm gonna erase it real fast. Erase all these settings so you can actually see it mapping. You have to have this older Looptimus in an expression mode to be able to read this pedal. So I'm gonna tap on the master volume and then move the pedal and watch it fill. So there you go. It just moved it. And now you can see the green bar moving up and down. Cool. So let's go out of this, and I'm going to play the song at the chorus in the middle. We're in full volume. I'm going to slowly bring this down if I have my foot on the pedal. And it's gonna completely just fade out all the volume. Now the cool thing about this, I can set this for the master volume. I can set it for the click. I can set it for any of these stems here. So that's what's really available about this, amazing about this rather, is that you can set it for any one of these faders. That's really cool. So that is using the Looptimus to change songs, to change sections within a song, to use an expression pedal to fade out the songs. And you can get this available at loopcommunity.com, looptimus.com. We have other vendors available as well. You can pick one of these up. They're in stock, ready for you, and so it works seamlessly. Again, all you need to do is grab a Looptimus and one of these little adapters to your iPad, and you're ready to go. So that, in a nutshell, is all the features of Prime, and it's all the features of you know, what the new features that we just rolled out. Stuff for the Looptimus. We've talked about section jumping, transposing, turning stems on and off, multi-outs, custom song arrangement, entering your own section markers with custom audio that you upload to Loop Community, changing cues, voices, click sounds, start and stop times, fading out. I mean, there's just an endless possibility. And so you see that the software is very user-friendly. It's very easy. It's very stable, and that lots of worship leaders are using this. And so it's a very easy thing to get involved with. It's free, and you can use this in your own services from week to week, and it'll save all of your songs in the song bank, either that you A, purchase from loopcommunity.com, or B, upload. So I hope you guys have really enjoyed this. I apologize again for the little glitches earlier and kind of seeing this giant Luptimus pedal on your screen. So we got through that and hopefully explained everything clearly. And we really want you guys to just be able to download the software, use it how you want to, and be able to reap the benefits from it. That's why we exist, is to resource you guys and to make sure you have awesome stuff that you can use for your services and just better yourselves, better your worship ministries and your church ministries in music as we progress. So a couple things I wanted to kind of highlight. I've talked about the Luptimus a little bit. Prime available in the App Store. Tomorrow, we're going to be doing another one of these webinars from 3 to 4 on strictly using the Luptimus. And we're going to go over using the Luptimus for starting and stopping tracks, how to use it in different modes where you can actually use it like a piano for your feet. Or you can, if your electric guitar player has a bunch of different pedals, how you can change preset sounds from his pedals that he's using. We also have an expander switch that gives you more buttons. We're going to talk about using the volume pedal and a bunch of other different features on what it can do. So we're going to really look at that in depth tomorrow at 3 to 4. If you want, you can request access. Where do I sign up for that? It's through our Eventbrite account, and we're having those. You can check that out. It's the same place that you registered for this webinar. It's free tomorrow, 3 to 4 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. And also in a few weeks, I am going to be doing a series of weekly webinars. So there's one per week, and I believe it's on Mondays. And I'm going to take you through starting to build your own tracks in Ableton Live. We're going to look at one instrument per week. So the first week will be like acoustic guitar, cues, and click. The second week will be bass. Third week will be electric, and so on and so forth. And we're going to build a song from scratch. And I'm going to teach you how to use the software. I'm going to teach you how to record, little tips and tricks on how you can create your own songs and have, so once you create them, you can upload them to Loop Community to sell by applying to our contributor program, or you can upload them to Prime like we've seen today and use them in Prime for yourself. So not only are you having songs used in Prime, but you're actually making your own songs. So those are a couple of webinars we have coming up. You can check those out on our Eventbrite page, or send us a question or any type of question you have to support@loopcommunity.com. That's support@loopcommunity.com. We'll be able to have our support team answer those questions quickly as we can and as clearly as we can to help you with anything that you possibly have questions about with the app, with the Luptimus, with our website, with tracks. And again, we exist because of you guys. So we thank you today for coming. If you have any questions, just type them in the chat box, or if you have any questions, really just send us an email to support and we'll be able to answer them ASAP. So thank you guys for so much for attending. My name is Jansen Roberts again, and I'm here from Loop Community Headquarters on this Intro to Prime webinar. Had a great time showing you the features of Prime. Stay tuned for other webinars we have coming up and register for those. And we'll see you again next time. We're going to go out and listen to The Stand on the way out. And thank you guys so much. Have a good one.
Verse 2, 3, 4. Verse 2, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Turn, 2, 3, 4. Turn, 2, 3, 4. Chorus, 2, 3, 4. Turn, 2, 3, 4. Two, three, four. Bridge, 2, 3, 4. Break, 2, 3, 4. Chorus, 2, 3, 4. Two, three, four. Two, three, four. Intro, 2, 3, 4. Verse, 2, 3, 4. Verse 2, 2, 3, 4.